Okay, welcome back again to some 0K action. We'll go over to the game itself. Okay, so this is being done completely live as well. This is the 1v1 September tournament of 0K, and yeah, just went back. So yeah, it's been going on for a couple of minutes, as you can see at the top right there. I just needed to restart my stream. Indeed. Yeah, just need to restart the stream without a delay, because apparently you don't actually have to stream with an added delay. Apparently there's enough of a delay just watching the Twitch stream itself, so there you go. Huzzah, huzzah. So this map has got a bit of water on it. That's interesting. I thought someone said it didn't have water on it, but apparently it does. Not much water, but still some. But yeah, there you go. Fealthas going with hovercraft, spamming the crap out of daggers. Cloakies for the sponge, interesting given how big the map is, and he's got mostly went for yeah, just zooming out a bit there. Yeah, mostly went for glaives to begin with by looks of it, and yeah, just going straight to warriors. Glaives. So it looks like it's going to be just one warrior to 5 glaives and a conjurer. Okay, so maybe he's just going to be building one warrior, then going for a whole bunch of glaives. We'll see what happens. God, I really love saying that. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But anyway. Yeah, what is happening is that Fealthas is basically ripping the snot out of the sponge's nose. Yes, that's the expression I'm going to use. At the same time, the sponge is, yeah, definitely not going to have the mobility advantage with these glaives. At the same time, the glaives will be quite a bit cheaper. Well, actually not that much cheaper, but still noticeably cheaper than the daggers, so he'll be able to mass them a bit more effectively. 300 hit points versus 200, that kind of sucks as well. But yeah, these daggers by Fealthas, they can just run rings around all of Sponge's forces. And yeah, I'm not really sure why the Sponge went for cloakies. Might have been a bit of a mistake there. And yeah, very strange. Oh yeah, this map is blue bend as well, in case if I haven't actually mentioned that beforehand. Huh, well, Fealthas, he is not taking too much of an... Oh yeah, there we go, now he actually is taking advantage of his mobility a bit more. He kind of was beforehand, but I don't know, he could have nipped a little bit more at the Sponge's periphery, although actually no, Sponge has kind of been squeezed into a bit more of a defensible position. Fealthas definitely has a massive economic advantage. Will the Sponge be able to push him away? Probably not. Not on this sort of map. Probably not with cloakies. He might go for a bit of a switch, but it doesn't seem too likely, and I'm just setting up a couple of defenses and such instead. 7.2, what? The hell is he indicating? Don't know. Oh, the metal spots. Actually, no. Okay, I don't know what. Oh, it might be indicating groups of metal spots. I don't know. I wasn't paying too much attention to the chat, to be honest. Kind of trying to focus on the game itself. I have to admit though, the Sponge, even if his factory choice isn't the greatest, he definitely is doing a great job controlling his forces. Don't know if the warrior should really be there, but yeah, pretty good job in general though, keeping the glaives, you know, on the move, even if they are slower than daggers. At least, you know, stopping Fealthas from just being able to run everywhere with his daggers, basically. So yeah, probably can guess what's going to happen to this game. It's just a matter of Fealthas taking advantage of his mobility by expanding a bit more, or taking advantage of his contain even more so, by expanding himself, widening the economic gap that he's already got between himself and the Sponge, and well, just basically closing in on the Sponge's base, and yeah, just utterly wrecking it. Daggers are not really going to cut it at this stage, and it looks like Fealthas is actually going to be making a bit of a switch. So it looks like 3 maces for every scalpel and dagger. Interesting combination. And I mean, yeah, this many daggers versus a warrior is not really going to, yeah, the warrior is not really going to do too much anyway. But still, it's still, you know, being more cost effective than the daggers are. So, yeah. Well, this warrior for the Sponge also coming in, doing a bit of damage. So, yeah, thinning out the numbers a little bit, but yeah, Fealthas, he can afford to lose a few units here and there, while the Sponge definitely cannot. Fealthas' army being way bigger, of course, and having the economic advantage, having the mobility advantage. Actually, what about the radar advantage? Yeah, well, yeah, it's relatively even in terms of radar, so yeah, Fealthas has pretty much got this game in the bag. Still though, we could see Could see something happen, something spectacular happen by the Sponge. It's going to have to be pretty freaking spectacular though. And at the moment is going for relatively conventional Cloakies. So yeah, just going for a whole bunch of warriors, glaives, doesn't even have any Roccos. Nah, just going for a whole bunch of glaives, essentially. At the very least, his warrior is in a good spot to be able to stop these guys from coming in, and I believe actually, I got a bit of an attack happening by Fealthas. Just a bit of a probe, really. 2 maces and a scalpel is hardly a show-stopping force at this stage of the game. Still should be able to do quite a bit of damage though. Just have a look at these guys pathing. Yeah, they can actually go up and down these little ridges, while of course the hovers cannot do that actually. Indeed. Yeah, the hovers at least cannot go up and down these ridges. It doesn't look like, just zooming out there briefly, it doesn't look like the Sponge has really taken advantage of that though. Yeah, he might be able to though, if he kind of, I don't know, maybe tries to do a bit of a push along here, or maybe just keep guys back here and then go over or something. We'll see. I mean, this radar tower for the Fealthas is now going to be able to see what's happening on this side of the ridgeline anyway. And yeah, well, this relatively small expeditionary force by Fealthas is, yeah, apparently enough for him basically to tear everything apart. And yeah, the Sponge doesn't really want to touch it with what he's got at the moment. Although, actually, he can get local superiority basically against these guys, but that basically means he has to send quite a few things against them, or quite a few of his forces against them, and that means less forces elsewhere. Although these guys don't really need to do anything. Whole bunch of glaives coming out. Wow, this is definitely a sign of desperation, but it seems to be working actually. He's managing to take out one mace. The other mace unfortunately is, yeah, actually the second mace went down, and now it's just down to destroying the scalpel. So actually very desperate counterattack by the Sponge, but still managing to make it work. Unfortunately though, he's just losing more and more territory, and yeah, his economy has gone to hell. It's 13 compared to Fealthas's 43, or 40 now, we'll just say 40. And yeah, Fealthas's army is still way bigger than the Sponge. Still, the Sponge, that was a nice little delaying counter-assault, but it's just not going to be enough, unfortunately. He's, yeah, just snowballing, or rather, Fealthas is just snowballing out of control there, and yeah, there you have it. There's a GG. A pretty damn good game indeed. We should go on to the next one in, hopefully, a minute or so.